can I buy with 2 rectangles?
A bus ride.
You're right. Good job, honey. You're so
When you
smart.
talk with your child, you build vocabulary, and learning starts long before school does. For more tips, go to bornlearning.org.
Hi, I'm Assemblyman Cameron Smythe, and you're watching SCV TV, local television for Santa Clarita.
Beautiful view, isn't it? You could say that this is an $8 million view. We're up here at Pyramid Lake along Interstate 5 up in the heart of the Tehachapi Mountains at Vista Del Lago. This is a place where they tell you the story about California water and its history and how it works and how they bring it down to Southern California and distribute it all over the state. Joining us today and giving us a tour is our old friend Jerry Reynolds. You know, Jerry's been on our show before. He's the curator of the Santa Clarita Valley Historical Society, and he tells me he's also the Baron of Vista Del Lago. Jerry, come on in here, say hi.
How do you do?
All right, how are you?
Nice seeing you again.
Nice seeing you too. Well, this is the place where you work. This is your domain, so to speak. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, well, Vista Del Lago is a brand new museum. It just opened in November of 1993, and it's full of all sorts of state-of-the-art exhibits and razzle-dazzle displays and hands-on activities for the kids. Well, the adults like that too, you know, right?
Yeah, I know.
And of course, as you mentioned, a fantastic view of Pyramid Lake. The lake itself is part of the State Water Project. The water brought in here and, in fact, completed in August of 1974. So the lake's been around a lot longer than the visitor center has. But like you say, we're very close to the freeway, very handy, a nice place to stop. And we have a lot of people running in here to use the bathrooms and sometimes stay a couple of hours.
Take care of those overheated radiators too, probably.
Too, also.
Yeah. Well, a little bit about the lake now. There's boating here, of course. We see people in boats, fishing and camping both.
Yeah, everything is available. It's, like you said, boating, fishing, camping, jet skis. The fishermen do pretty well. The largest fish caught out of this lake so far is a striped bass that weighed 40 pounds.
Whoa.
That's not bad.
Meals for
Right.
plenty here, huh?
Neighborhood fish fry.
Yeah.
I think he had it stuffed and put over the mantle, though.
Well, we're going to go inside and have a tour of this fascinating place and see what you can see if you take a drive up here. So, shall we go?
Might as well.
Okay. So the first thing I do when I come in from the hot heat is have a drink of cool California water. Is that right?
Well, yeah, about 90% that come in use the bathroom first, then have a drink of water. But as you can see back here, the water travels well over 600 miles from Lake Oroville, the Feather River, down here to the drinking fountain.
Down to my lips.
Down to your
Well,
lips.
I'm going to enjoy some water. Would you hold this, please? I don't want people to hear me slurping.
All right. As a matter of fact, the State Water Project is the largest water system in the world. You can check it in the Guinness Book of World Records. As a matter of fact, the guys up in the space shuttles flying around up in the atmosphere, when they look down on the ground, they can see only 2 things made by human beings: the California Aqueduct and the Great Wall of China. Aren't you impressed?
We're in Exhibit Room 1, and one of the first things a person does after they've had a drink of water and used the washroom is to come in here and to weigh themselves to see how much of you is water. So I'm going to do this now. That's a bold-faced lie. I'm 93 pounds of water, and we won't say what else.
This room tells us how much water is used for various products. For example, can you guess how many gallons of water go into a Big Mac hamburger?
5 gallons? 2
Five-
gallons? What?
Actually, 1,850 gallons.
No.
When you consider the bread, the meat, the lettuce, the tomatoes, all that
that
stuff.
right?
Yeah. Well, look over here. You can see 15 gallons to make a couple of loaves of wheat bread, 12 gallons for President Bush's favorite broccoli,
Right.
and various other exhibits around here. It's really a lot when you think about how much water you have to grow the product and process it and cook it, all that. This is exhibit room 2, where we have our talking map that lays the whole state water project out at your very feet. Would you like to see it?
Yes, please. Push
Well,
the
we'll
button.
push the button here. There we go.
Water. Without it, California would be a wasteland. But with it, there are forests and lakes, farmlands and cities, and all of them depend on water. But there's a problem.
The problem is that California doesn't have a reliable natural water supply. We need water all year round.
But our snow and rain are seasonal. They usually fall only in winter and spring. Summers are cloudless and dry.
We can't depend on the amount of water we'll receive either, because it's different every year. We don't know how much it's going to rain this year.
Will there be a deluge? Or a drought? How long will it last?
Our natural water supply isn't evenly distributed across the state. The wettest areas are in the mountains in Northern California. But most of the people live along the coast in the San Francisco Bay Area and in Central and Southern California. The largest agricultural area is in the Central Valley.
What we need then is a way to make the natural water supplies more reliable,
A way to capture water when it's plentiful,
a way to hold it until we need it.
and a way to move it where we need it.
That's why water projects have been built in California.
This is exhibit room 3.
Room 3.
What do we see in here?
Well, we'll start off with showing the construction of the California State Water Project, which began in 1960 and wasn't really completed until 1974. And again, you can see the massive equipment that was used to build this thing with. Some of the largest equipment ever used in a construction project, as a matter of fact, coming down. Also in the room, you have an exhibit on what we call the Big Lift, which is the A.D. Edmonston pumping plant, which lifts water nearly 2,000 feet straight up into the Tehachapis. And then as you follow around through the room, the California Water Project is shown in a series of moving lights down through here, which demonstrates how the water is moved from Oroville all the way down to Lake Paris over by Riverside.
That's all these here neon lights that we see all around us here.
To keep us going, we do sell water to various water agencies, and along the way it shows in little plaques here which agencies buy how much water. So we take no tax money.
So we take no tax
No,
money
no, we
here.
sell water.
Okay,
Yeah, and the next time you flush, think of us.
I will. Thank you. This is called the Big Lift. Huge pumps move water over great heights. Try to match the pump's output. Try to lift the water in the bucket to see how your strength compares to the huge pumps. Hang on just a second. I'm going to give this a try. Nothing's moving.
You broke it, Phil. Let me go fix it.
Okay, it's been fixed now, and I'm going to try it again. Here we go. Hey, I did it.
This is the story of California's water. It began with the arrival of the Spaniards, Cabrillo, in 1542. See the big sailing ships, and of course the establishment of the first missions in 1769. After the Spaniards left, they found gold up on the Sacramento River, and of course really altered the landscape during the gold mining operations. One of the worst of them as far as the environment was concerned was the hydraulic mining, where these big water cannons blasted out the hillsides. That was fine and dandy for the miners, but down in the valleys below, people started getting flooded out, like the city of Sacramento in this 1862 picture. When William Hammond Hall became the first state engineer in 1879, he started campaigning about getting rid of these hydraulic things, and of course eventually legislation was passed to stop hydraulic mining. But at that time too, there was battles over water rights in California, especially among the farmers, of who gets what kind of water and when, and that's when various water policies started in this state. The turn of the century, that is 1900, California's biggest industry, so to speak, was agriculture. And part of the problems, of course, was bringing water from one place to another, because most everybody that lived here wanted to live down in the dry, sunny South. One of the earliest attempts at long-range aqueduct building was the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power's Los Angeles Aqueduct, led by the colorful and flamboyant William Mulholland. The Owens Valley Aqueduct covered over 233 miles without a single pump in the whole system. It was a remarkable achievement and a great credit to Mulholland. Unfortunately, one of the units of the Owens Valley Aqueduct was the St. Francis Dam, which collapsed in 1928, killing probably around 450 people. After that, the state did establish a division of dam safety, which still patrols all dams, guaranteeing their safety. So out of even the worst tragedies, sometimes there's a little high note or silver lining. Other aqueducts were being built. The city of San Francisco tapped the Hetch Hetchy River and Valley, bringing water to that city. And in the late 20s, plans were being made to bring water from the Colorado River to the city of Los Angeles. The 1930s, of course, was a time of Great Depression. The state proposed a Central Valley project to bring water to farms in the San Joaquin Valley, but was unable to raise the money to do it. The project was taken over by the federal government and still provides water for agriculture in the Central Valley of California. By World War II, work was just about completed on Metropolitan Water District's aqueduct from the Colorado River, and of course the construction of Boulder or Hoover Dam. Throughout the 50s, the state's population more than tripled, and by late 1950s, there was a great movement afoot to build what is now called the State Water Project, or in those days the Feather River Project. By 1960, Governor Edmund G. Pat Brown pushed through legislation to build the California State Water Project. And of course, construction began in that year. So we progressed. It actually took some 14 years before the whole water project was completed. And while Brown started it, Governor Reagan managed to complete it. And of course, it was Reagan who showed up at all the dedications. And here's Governor Reagan signing one of the bills. And of course, some views below him of project pumping plants. As we move into the 1990s, we're more concerned with water conservation and, of course, various aspects of building aqueduct systems, which I don't think really we're ever going to be able to build an aqueduct system like this one again because of environmental concerns. Locally speaking, the Tutaviam Indians arrived around 450 A.D., and this is some of the relics that they left behind in various sites throughout the Santa Clarita Valley. Next to the Indian relics, you can see the last full-blooded Tutaviam man, Juan Jose Festero, who died in 1916. Below is a map that I really like because it's one of those old maps that shows California as an island kind of floating off the rest of the United States. Of course, maybe they knew something we don't know. I mean, it's just about where the San Andreas Fault runs through there. Here you have other pictures of lakes, and up above, Francisco Lopez, who made the first gold discovery in California in 1842. Next to Lopez is John C. Fremont, who has a pass named for him. He passed through here, liberated some local cattle, and went over the mountains in what is now Ellesmere Canyon. Below, mining scene. And then, of course, in the center, you can see the Great Seal of the state of California. Since I work for the state, I must always genuflect when I come by here. Under the Yankee invasion, the dominant figure, of course, was Henry Mayo Newhall, who came from Saugus, Massachusetts, bought the old Mexican ranch here, and built what is today known as Newhall Land and Farming Company. The photographs above Mr. Newhall show the town that's named for him. The upper, just above his head, you can see a great shot of San Fernando Road in Newhall. It was taken in 1878. Below, and a little to the right, 1925 is the date. You can see the vehicles going up the old Ridge Route. The Ridge Route was actually created in 1915 and used until 1933. The photograph shows the dedication of Highway 99 that now runs underneath Pyramid Lake. Again, that was in October of '33. During the construction of the Ridge Route, they cut through a mountain, creating a pyramid-shaped rock, which became something of a landmark. People driving up 99 were halfway between Los Angeles and Bakersfield when they reached Pyramid Rock. As I mentioned, while the old 99 is under Pyramid Lake, you can still see Pyramid Rock down in front of the dam. And finally, there's a map of Pyramid Lake showing the various recreational activities and places to go when you visit. The theater is available. We have a number of films that we show here. Don't ask for Batman Forever or Forrest Gump, but they're all water-related films. And we have a list up at the front desk. Just come in and ask, and we'd be glad to turn on any kind of movie you may like to see that we have listed there. That's also available for groups, and we have an awful lot of school kids that come through here. We had 32 school groups in June alone, so we have films available for them also as part of their tour.
Since we're in a theater, why don't we take Jerry up on his offer? Let's watch part of a film titled Wings Over Water by the California State Water Project. What is this we are standing inside of here?
Well, this archway represents one of our water pipes. It's 13 feet in diameter. And actually, if it was full of water, there'd be 1,250,000 gallons pouring through here every minute.
Oh, really?
So hold your breath.
From floor to ceiling,
From floor to ceiling, if it was full, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one of our smaller pipes. The pipe between here and Castaic Lake is actually 30 feet in diameter, about twice the size of this one.
And now we're going to go into California future water plans for you.
As I mentioned before, we're doubtful if we'll ever be able to build big aqueduct systems again. So the only way to get along with our water supplies is by conserving what we have. This room tells us about water conservation around the house. For example, you're looking at low-flow toilets, and it also goes into conservation of the plants around our house. Actually, about 60% of the water we use is used to irrigate plants.
Replacing a standard toilet with an ultra-low flush toilet follows normal installation procedures. Both do-it-yourselfers and professional plumbers can do this work. The major steps in the installation include turning off the water supply, draining water from the toilet, disconnecting the water supply, unbolting the toilet from the floor, removing the old toilet and the old wax ring seal, installing a new wax ring seal, installing the new ultra-low flow toilet and bolting it in place, adjusting the mechanisms according to the manufacturer's instructions, and reconnecting the water supply and turning it back on.
As I mentioned before, the State Department of Water Resources does not take tax money. We sell water and we sell electrical energy. Our biggest water contractor is the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. And they've set up this display in here showing you first the major aqueducts supplying Southern California and some little water games that you can play wandering around the room. Complete with sound effects. Metropolitan buys what we call raw water, and they have to process it, and we're showing in the process of processing water in a water filtration plant. Notice that lovely stuff up there at the top of the tube. In a moment, the water will start coursing through coal, sand, and gravel. And hopefully, if all goes well, if Phil hasn't messed it up, we'll have clean water coming out the bottom. And one more water game to play. Test your knowledge on cleaning water. Is most of Southern California's water imported groundwater or from the ocean? Looks like he got that one wrong. Vista Del Lago sits on Forest Service property. This is actually part of the Angeles National Forest. All the water in the State Water Project comes from the high Sierras, melted snow, and of course the Forest Service manages all the watersheds in the state. And this shows where the water begins in the Plumas National Forest and comes down, curiously enough, to end up in the Angeles National Forest. But this is a beautiful room, very relaxing. Waterfalls, chirping birds. I've always wanted to camp out here because there's no ants or snakes or anything.
But you can't have a campfire here.
No, they won't let you build a campfire in here. It'll probably take a very dim view of that. You know how those Forest Service people are. Yes. Some of the mounted animals that have been picked up in the forest and brought here for display. I think it's kind of interesting, the little geology display here. You have things like this, for example, which is the backbone of a whale. Imagine a whale swimming around up here in the mountains. Seashells. And down at the end of the display is a very dark rock that actually we find floating around in Pyramid Lake. It's quite light. It's called expanded shale. Unique, but kind of hard on those fiberglass holes when they hit them at 30 miles an hour.
Jerry, can you tell us what hours Vista Del Lago is open and when people can come up here?
Sure, we're open 7 days a week. During the winter months, 9 to 5. During the summer, 10 to 6. And we're always available for tours. The best thing of all, of course, is it's free. You can't beat that price.
No, can't beat that at all. And if anybody wants to book a tour, they should call you up here.
Yeah, they can give us a call up here ahead of time and make sure there isn't another group coming through. And we take church and, civic groups and school groups, anybody who wants to come up. We'd be glad to show them around.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, we've had a real nice tour of Vista Del Lago. I'd like to thank you, Jerry Reynolds, for being on our program and showing us around this really neat, interesting place. Thank you.
Thank you for visiting us. Vista Del Lago, means view of the lake.
I was going to ask you what that meant. Thank you.
Overlook that.
That's good. And I'd like to thank our camera operator, Denise Rue Scorza. And this is Philip Scorza for Points of Interest. We'll see you again next time.
When you open a book, you can explore new lands, meet new friends, and discover new adventures. There are amazing possibilities when you open your mind to reading. You can log onto the Library of Congress website and let the journey begin.